Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think because you heard the Secretary General's remarks this morning and had a chance to ask some questions of him, I think really we can best use this time to simply respond to additional questions. The only frame that I think I'd try to give this is that one reason you see such divergent coverage coming out of Copenhagen is because, in fact, this was a very complex process with so many actors, and the fact that the outcome came at the last minute, literally after many of the heads of state and government had left, after many of the reporters had left. So it was also the way that the conference finished that has led to different understandings. So I think it's important to note that. We can try to address any questions you have on specific items. I think I'd say that just by way of introduction, and then see where your interest lies.
What groups already have expressed support?
From the floor in the closing plenary, the LDC group said that they were supporting. The AOSIS group and the African Union and the European Union.
What about Group of 77?
The Group of 77, which was represented in the smaller group during the discussions, invited as the Group of 77, and the Secretary General addressed this a bit this morning, then took a different position when they were on the plenary floor. That is, the representatives of Sudan took a different position. Of course, all of these groups I just mentioned, with the exception of the EU, are all subcomponents of the G77. So if you start to look at the range of states within the G77 who support this, it's quite large, but the formal position taken by the Sudanese representative in the final plenary was negative. Ratification would be the wrong word. This is a political agreement. So signing on to this political agreement will simply provide the basis of understanding of where the treaty negotiations kind of begin. If this document takes on the kind of support that was indicated in the final plenary, then you have a real center of gravity for the treaty negotiations throughout 2010. Again, the Copenhagen Accord is a political agreement, a political document, not a treaty document. So there's no ratifying this. If they sign on, that's not a ratification. It is simply signing on to a political agreement.
To very briefly follow up on this point also, that we've been saying, Secretary General has been saying for over a year that we need very strong political guidance from the highest levels to the negotiations. And what we got in this accord is exactly that, without which the next step of making the legally binding treaty would not be possible. So we have an accord which has immediate follow-up, but at the same time it provides that guidance to the negotiators next year. So we actually got two things out of that.